If 2020 was a dying man, I'd shoot him to relieve him of his misery. However, I can honestly say that this year of being stuck inside to the point of madness gave me my best gaming year yet. I played so many classics and a few new ones from this year, and it's just been so good, man. I played this niche little game called Portal. Don't know if it was famous or not, I don't even know. But it was an interesting time, filled with puzzles that made my brain fry. There was Kirby's Dream Land 3, and it was cute as shit. Until it wasn't. Frickin' final bosses. There was this cool little, independent game called Resident Evil 4. That's the good stuff, man. That's the good stuff. Resident Evil 4 is a game that should feel clunky and age horribly, but amazingly, it really, really works as a game where you're just shooting infected zombie-like villagers and then kicking them to hell. There was also a lot of really cool independent developed games too, like A Short Hike, which is basically Animal Crossing if it was a hike. Abzu was Journey, except it was underwater, and it was so beautiful, man. I just love water. Water's cool. There was Genshin Impact, and while it was fun in its own way, it really needed optimization on PS4 because I love frame dips in towns, and always being online kind of really sucks. There was also a lot of ongoing games with DLC, namely Pokemon Sword and Shield, because Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra were really rad pieces of content, and oh, woo, what? Before we look at my best 10 of this year, I should give my honorable mentions to the 5 that didn't quite make the cut, but I'm still very glad to experience anyway. Number 15 was Journey, which I've always wanted to play, and it's a very beautiful looking game, and it's a very solid little story for what it is. There was Halo Reach. I really love this campaign. It's the best campaign in the series to me. It was also the most fun I've had recording a Halo game in like a while. However, the multiplayer can just eat it because I'm not really so good at the matches in it. Shut up, the other players were way too good, Mang, and I'm kind of getting tired of getting Halo Reach whenever I play with my buddies and Greg. Shut up. Katamari Damacy reroll, baby! The screams of all those people getting absorbed into your Katamari gives me life. But hey, there's happy music. Everspace. I like space. I like roguelikes. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Indie Developer. I really like it. Thank you, PAX East and Everspace 2 for being the last light of the year before everything went to hell. And finally, CSGO, an essential shooter that, honestly, I'm better at than in Halo because I actually get to kill more than 2 people before dying myself. Hey, man. I really suck at Halo. I can really see why people really want Travis in Smash. Oh. No More Heroes is a hack and slash in almost the right ways. This is a situation where the Switch port once again rules over all others because it has the motion controls of the Wii while also having the HD versions of all the other versions. Although I gave up using the motion controls about halfway through when I tried so much to do the finishers and use my trusty Pro Controller for the rest of the time. Otherwise, No More Heroes activities for grinding money and boss fights are really killer stuff, man. Honestly, yeah, the boss fights are just the highlight of it all. The areas leading up to each boss encounter can get a little repetitive after a while, but it's so worth it just to see the next big boss fight in order to increase your rank as an assassin. My favorites have to be Holly Summers, Destroy Man, and Mr. Sir Henry, motherfucker! Yeah! And now for the downside, because of course there's always a downside. There's a reason why No More Heroes is at the bottom of the top 10. The bus. I don't know if there's a way to make this section easier. If anything, if you have anything, please tell me, but God, man, I just had such a miserable time getting through it. I felt like it was just one of those things where the developer said, I'll wing it. Even if I did get my weapon upgraded, even if I did get my weapon upgraded, I still had to take a few tries to finally push through the Speed Buster. And I'm just like, why? I want to die. Please kill me. Never have I had such a miserable time with a section in my life, man. And it's such a bad stand on an otherwise really good hack and slash. But otherwise, yeah, I really, really enjoyed No More Heroes. With all the stuff you could do, and with all the great video game to be had. It also has a really stupid story, which I can appreciate because the game is just so awesome anyway. Now, can anyone tell me if Jean is the best cat? Because she is. March 20th was the absolute perfect day to pick this one up. Everyone was rushing to buy lockdown supplies, and I'm just picking up Animal Crossing so I can start my island life. In a way, this is the Animal Crossing that I do enjoy as a casual fan. Being able to play at my own pace and just doing whatever I can to make sure my loans are taken care of, and, you know, just doing stuff. Animal Crossing really is that series that gives you complete freedom to do whatever you like. Of course, I knew Xenoblade Definitive Edition would be my ultra top priority 2 months after Animal Crossing came out, so I could just enjoy my island life for a good 2 months until I could get absorbed by the best game ever and its epilogue. On the downside though, going through your friends' islands is still really slow and clunky. I'm not even surprised that they didn't even fix that. I don't even think the crafting has been improved with multiple items at once either. Like, it's just a lot of little things that still need improvements. But as a casual fan, I'm very happy with Animal Crossing New Horizons. It came out at an absolutely insane yet perfect time, and I can't wait to get back to it eventually. Yeah, I didn't honestly know that my house had cockroaches. And 6 months. Shep, thank you for reminding me that I left you guys for half a year. I'm sorry, I had a lot of games to play. Don't kill me! Have y'all ever heard of this game? Y'all ever heard of this wife? Then you know Ryza. Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout, is a mouthful of a title, and yet it's a very chilled, very laid-back JRPG that's just about this girl being fascinated with the power of alchemy, along with her friends Bootleg Ryan, Smart Boy, Good Girl, Byleth, and the real waifu. The name of the game is all about collecting ingredients to use in the alchemic process, and each time you make something new, it feels so rewarding. You get that big sense of accomplishment just by creating a new recipe or creating a more powerful version of a weapon or an item. On top of that, the battles are also very enjoyable. Setting items and equipment from alchemy are very important factors to making major boss fights so much easier. Of course, being me, I crafted things every chance I could get. And really, I only had one boss fight where I had to go back to the drawing board in order to plan and use strats. The story has this laid-back feeling in which you're not really saving the world, but you're just discovering Ryza's potential as a budding alchemist. Part of me really likes that, and it's like no other JRPG I've played where there's always a hovering danger. But it's just the life story with anime boys and girls. Another part of me wishes that certain characters didn't get their arcs resolved off screen or wrapped up quickly. Like, they make mention of the fact that Lent's dad is like the town drunk, and Lent's like really ashamed of that. But we don't really get to see that develop on screen, you know? It's just mentioned here and there, and that could have been interesting. But, you know, he's Bootleg Ryan, so it doesn't really matter anyway. He's cool, man. Also, there are portions where you're required to craft things, which can be a turnoff for some. It's like Torna in a way, But if I had to pick a great game purely from recommendation, seriously, I was recommended this, it would have to be Atelier Ryza. Thick Thighs Save Lives Part 2 is coming up, and I'm really excited for it. Very excited. Is Hades the best game from an independent studio that I've played in a while? Yeah, it is. Hades is an awesome roguelike where escaping hell is as hard as it is fun. Unlike with Dead Cells, each time you get further from Daddy Hades, it really feels like the finish line is within your reach until that one boss fight said, nah. The permanent room upgrades also help out a lot in the long run, as each run is randomized after all. I loved using the spear because I love my long-range weapons. It seriously helped me get the job done. Yes, it really helped me get through boss fights like Megara and the Skull Dragon. Speaking of which, best part is the bosses. Never in all my life have I played a game where the bosses are stressful as the bosses in Hades. So far, I've only made it to Elysium and the Minotaur, but I'll be back for more whenever I get the chance. The art style for this game is something else entirely. I love the colors and stylized look of hell, and the character designs are badass as hell. Now, as for the voice acting, I might be alone on this. Doesn't the voice acting for Hades sound a little dry to anybody? I don't know if that was the intention of the voice direction, but I feel like nobody raises their voices higher than what the direction intended, like with the Megara fight. That should have been a big moment for both of them as they're about to fight, but nah, they're just shooting the shit before fighting to the death.
Well, Zag, any last requests this time before I send you home?
Let's see, how about a swift and painful death? Would that be possible?
Be cheeky all you like. You'll get exactly what you asked, and nothing more.
No cons for the actual VAs though. They did their job well, and I can't really be mad at the Hades voice because it's manly as hell and badass. Just play Hades, man. Hades is so good, even though I only logged in about a few hours. I have a full blind Let's Play of Half-Life on my channel, so you should know how I feel about this one. But I'll go over it again because it's not as popular as me doing Halo. Half-Life is a gosh diddly darn classic. As my first real FPS on PC, it's as good as everyone says it is. Why? Well, it has to do with the fact that you're in control of Gordon Freeman the whole time. Well, 98% actually, because there is that one part where you're taken away by the military. But otherwise, even if quote-unquote cutscenes are happening, you're in control and you're completely free to ignore the story and just keep going through the facility. Playing this on PC was a realization. I love my very fast movement. Your character moves so quickly and you can effectively just blaze through this game rather quickly. If you know what you're doing, you could take like maybe 6 or 7 hours. The chapters where you go outside and deal with the military and the On the Rails chapter are my top picks because they're all very unique set pieces. The atmosphere is also very top notch. Only having music at the appropriate times, like when getting an important item, is a work of genius, thus allowing the background sound effects to do the job with setting up the dangers of the alien invasion from Zen. My only downside is that the endgame kind of loses itself in Zen, with that whole climbing section where you have to climb this really, really tall room just before the final battle, and the final battle itself kind of blows. Aside from that, Half-Life is just as legendary as everyone says it is. It's a legendary shooter that deserved all the praise and recognition that it got. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Also, you can just murder everybody, so yeah, any game that allows you to do that with no consequences is an A+ in my book. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is an incredible remaster of my favorite video game. However, it's technically a game that I've played before. So, unfortunately, it won't be included in this list. Nah, I'm sorta kidding. Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected is a proper way to wrap up a story that I love so much. Bringing back the Bionic Shoulder to use as the main area of the epilogue is an absolute work of genius because the area is just so huge. It felt so good finally seeing the Bionic Shoulder become a reality. But, of course, it's Xenoblade. I always revel in exploring brand new areas and seeing what lies beyond. Like, where is this gonna go? What's this gonna lead to? Oh my god, there's a new landmark. It feels so good to explore everything. The story is also a good time too. It simply does what it needs to do. Close out the Xenoblade 1 storyline with Shulk and Melia planning to take back Alchemoth as it's being taken over by the Fog King, and it's causing the wildlife to go insane. What is the Fog King? Nobody knows. Ooh, what is Lavos? What is Gyges? Ooh. The Virgin Galgar didn't deserve to be in this story because he's a weak sauce villain. But hey, anything's better than Luxar from Xenoblade X. Anybody who says that Kino and Nene are the worst Nopon characters should be fired and told off. And have their finger wagged at them.
Nice and warm. Snoozy and cozy. Sleepsy and sunsy.
But really, the stars of the show are Melia and Tyrea. The best of Future Connected story comes out of these two, basically going from enemies in the base game to actual co-workers / family, and it feels so natural and it's so good! There's also these things called quiet moments, which are honestly way better than heart-to-hearts, because they're fully voice acted and there's no choices required, and I really, really like that. Finally, shout out to me and everybody else who 100% in Future Connected. Do it. You won't be disappointed. Listen, man, every Xenoblade game has brought me joy and happiness, and I'm very glad that this one that's included for free alongside the best game ever made has also brought me the best of joy. Future Connected is what I wanted and what I needed. Oh god, that's the song. That is indeed the song. Where are the lyrics? There are the lyrics. Reaching out for no man's land. Take a breath and take a chance. I walk 1,000 nights to change the world. Oh god. Tales of Vesperia is the reason why JRPGs are the best genre of video games to me. This is a game that starts off simple. Our hero Yuri has to take back the Blastia orb that powers this town's water supply. He meets a princess named Estelle who wants to escape into the world. They both travel around the world meeting new companions, some being added from the Japanese PS3 version, Stan Patty, and learn more about the world in the process. And learn more about the world in the process. Xenoblade Chronicles has a story like that, and it works so well there, and Vesperia does the same thing here. I love stories like these where the world gets more built and built. Not only that, but the combat is Smash Bros. The JRPG. As soon as I got a hold of the special moves, me and this game got along just fine. The new additions definitely make Patty seem like a side story integrated into the main plot, but at least she's likable enough that you want to see her story through to the end. Having Flynn as a party member when the original version didn't do that for some bizarre reason was also a very wise choice. I knew it was going to take me a good while to finish this one, but 45 hours is a freaking good long time. The downside is that oftentimes the presentation can seem lacking at first in a few areas for cutscenes, and without a guide, you can't really see the true final battle that awaits you if you do the requirements. I didn't even know that could happen until I looked it up. And I'm honestly very glad I went with the regular final battle because no! I don't like hard things in JRPGs, help! Tales of Vesperia is anything but generic Twitter. If I see that again, I'm gonna do something, and I don't know what, but y'all better stop calling it generic. Play it, man! Play it! The story of Persona 4 is one that I know about a lot. I've seen a lot of Persona 4 Golden playthroughs, as well as Persona 4 the animation, which is one of my favorite animes ever. Going into this game knowing nearly every story beat and twist, I was actually surprised to see that actually playing this game was like witnessing the Persona 4 story again for the first time. Of course, we'll start with the downsides. I didn't really feel the dungeon crawler aspect as much as I did with Persona 5. Mainly the latter half of the game's dungeons, despite their amazing themes. The Persona 4 dungeons are very easy to digest because they're much shorter than 5's, but I feel like the dungeons in Persona 5 are way, way better. Also, puzzles and dungeons don't really work as much. They really don't. That's really the only sour spot though, because Persona 4 Golden is a goddamn treat. It's like I said, playing this for the first time is like me experiencing P4 for the first time all over again. Every moment that I knew was going to happen, whether it was a hilarious moment from the cast, or a serious moment where you want to see a character push through their troubles because they're so likable, it still hits hard, man. It still hits. That's how you know you've made something wonderful. It hits you every time. Persona 4's cast is amazing. I love all these characters, and it's complemented with outstanding voice acting that brings these characters to life. Kanji Tatsumi is my favorite Persona character. He's like me in a way that I like cute shit. He likes cute shit. But he hides it in order to protect his identity as this biker badass. However, he finally opens up and he's just so good in his social link, and he's also the funniest character. In fact, everyone's social link is outstanding. Nanako's, Risei's, Kanji's, Naoto's, you name it, and I will love it. Oh, I guess I ignored Naoki's and Ai's. Sorry, you must have really good social links, but I just didn't have time. In-game days are the balls. The in-between stuff with no plot is my favorite part, because you're just hanging out with your friends doing social links, studying, reading books, shopping, grinding. I love that stuff. Doing all that stuff in between those moments, after the boss fight but before the next part of the plot happens, I couldn't put the game down. I really couldn't put the game down. That's how you made something that's incredible. Make a game that's way too addicting for its own good. I probably went through a whole month within a day. I couldn't put it down. It was just so good. It was so good. This is my pick for the best game that wasn't released in 2020. That's my top pick for classic games. Just buy this game. It's available on Steam now, so do it, you cowards! What's that? A remake that actually makes me care for Midgar? Yes, please! Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, I guess, is all about Midgar. And I was really curious to see how they were going to do Midgar this time around. Because I'll be the first to admit it, Midgar in the original Final Fantasy VII, while still good, isn't as good as getting out of it and exploring the world. I didn't really feel that sense of freedom from Midgar, and that's what I wanted from the back of my mind, to make Midgar good, and to make me care about Midgar. Thankfully, Final Fantasy VII Remake pulls out all the stops to make you care. Right from blowing up Mako Reactor 1, you get to see the consequences of Avalanche's attack, from listening to the NPCs talk about it, to reacting to the situation. Midgar is truly alive here and huge. Whenever Sector 7's plate drops, the chapters following it are heavy stuff that bring the mood down to near depression levels. Like, God, man, you really, really feel for the citizens of Midgar here. You feel for Midgar. And speaking of Avalanche, I I care for them too. Charlie Sheen, The Third Wheel, and Thirsty actually have personalities, and yeah, they aren't just character, because they have a new chapter dedicated to them. Yes, please! I actually care about Avalanche! Whoa! That's the highest praise I can absolutely give to FF7R, while the rest of the praises go to the excellent action RPG combat, easy to do side quest, amazing boss fights, great soundtrack, and absolutely incredible graphics and art style. Squeenix really knows how to make their full budget titles look extremely good. On the downside, I never want to go through Sector 5's construction site ever again, because it's really dumb in navigation. But the rest of the game is super solid. Now, I know that Nomura's Galaxy Brain is plastered throughout this game with his anime swords fights and Nomura ghosts flying around, and the resolution of the final battle has got people thinking like game theorists or Kingdom Hearts fans. But I want to see where all this goes now that we know how Part 1 ends. Will they do things differently? How many more years will it be until we see Yuffie? How much longer will it be until we get to that scene? Will that scene even happen? And more importantly, will chocobo breeding still exist? And if so, I will actually quit. I had to think about this pick because both Final Fantasy VII Remake and my number one pick are both equally amazing for different reasons. However, after thinking about it for a few hours, my ultimate 2020 pick for best platinum game is Doom Eternal. God, that gives me Ultra Nut status! Ugh. Doom Eternal makes me feel things. The adrenaline, the rush of shooting demons in the face, making all those glory kills. It's all there from the incredibly fantastic 2016 Doom, and you get more of the same here. But I don't care because this Doom Eternal is goddamn awesome. Having played through Doom 1 and Doom 2 last year, I've actually considered myself to be a hardcore fan now because Doom is my kind of first-person shooter. A bullet-blasting marathon filled with satisfaction. Each encounter with Hell's demons kicked me so hard that I had a good rage building within me. It's the good kind of rage that tells you that you're angry at the game and you want to kick this game's ass. You push through, and the feeling could not be any more euphoric than it actually is. Well, that would be Ultraviolence difficulty for you, because I played on that difficulty and it really kicked my nuts. They brought pretty much everything in from Doom 2 here. Pain Elementals, Revenants, Arts Vials, and Arachnotrons, and more. And they're all beasts. The music and atmosphere are also badass as hell. Mick Gordon's work is, again, the work of a true genius. Hell is wonderfully filled with reds and yellows and badass architecture. If I could run this on a super laptop, then my gameplay experience wouldn't have looked like the Switch port and not running at 60 FPS at the same time. But thankfully, I found the proper settings that worked for me, and it felt so good playing a new game on my Epic Gamer PC. Seriously, playing this on PC really elevated my hype surrounding this game and made it one of the best gaming experiences that I've ever had. If you hadn't done so already, buy Doom Eternal. It's close to perfection in a video game. Alright, and that does it. I really hope you like this type of video because I kind of want to do this every January now, because it's pretty obvious that I'm going to be playing more games in the future, as long as we're all still stuck inside. Anyway, thanks for watching, and and I'll see y'all on the next video. Take care, y'all, and stay safe.